3 signs you're being manipulated. You feel it before you see it. A weight in your chest every time your phone buzzes. A knot in your stomach before you walk through the door. You tell yourself you're overthinking. You tell yourself they love you. They care. They just have a strong personality. But strong personalities don't leave you confused. Strong personalities don't make you feel small. Manipulation isn't always screaming or threats. Most of the time it's quiet. It looks like concern. It sounds like I'm just trying to help you. And that's exactly why you never leave.
Today, 3 signs you're already inside someone's game.
First sign. You don't trust your own memory anymore. Think about the last argument you had. You remember exactly what they said. The tone. The exact words. But when you brought it up later, they looked at you like you were crazy. That never happened. You're twisting everything. You're too sensitive. And somehow you apologized. This is gaslighting.
Not the TikTok version.
The real one. A slow, systematic erasing of your reality. Here's how it works. The first time it happens, you're sure you're right. The second time, you're less sure. The third time, you start questioning everything. The 10th time, you don't trust your own eyes. You start recording conversations in your head. You start asking other people, am I crazy? You start keeping screenshots, voice memos, receipts. And the manipulator? They notice. And they smile. Because now you're doing their job for them. You're gaslighting yourself. Real example. You both agree to meet at 7. You show up at 7. They show up at 8. No text. No call. You ask why. They say you said 8. You know you didn't. But they sound so sure. So confident. So you pause. Maybe you did say 8. Maybe your memory is broken. It's not broken. It's being rewritten. Gaslighters always start small. Dates, times, words.
Then they move to your feelings.
You're not sad, you're dramatic. Then they move to your sanity. You need help. Then they move to your identity. You've always been this way. Here's your test.
Next time you're sure about something, a fact, a time, a sentence, write it down.
Date it. Don't show them. Keep it for yourself. When they tell you it didn't happen, look at the paper. If the paper agrees with you, your brain is fine. And you just caught them.
If you hear you're too sensitive more than 3 times a month, you're not sensitive.
You're being erased. Second sign. You feel guilty. And you have no idea why. Nothing happened today. No fight. No drama. Just a normal conversation. But now you're sitting alone, chest tight, replaying everything you said. You didn't say anything wrong. You know that. But the feeling is still there. That feeling wasn't an accident. It was engineered. Manipulators don't need to yell to make you feel bad. They just withdraw. They go cold. They stop texting. They stop looking at you. They answer with one word. And when you ask what's wrong, they say nothing. But every cell in your body knows it's not nothing. So you chase. You ask again. You apologize for things you didn't do. You try to fix a problem that doesn't exist. And then, magically, they warm up. They say it's okay, I forgive you. And you feel relief. You feel grateful. You feel like they're so generous for forgiving you. But what did you actually do? Nothing. You paid a fine for a crime that never happened. This is classical conditioning. Same psychology Pavlov used on dogs. Except instead of bells and food, it's silence and relief. They train you to associate their withdrawal with your guilt. Your guilt with your apology. Your apology with their warmth. You're not in a relationship. You're in a lab experiment. Here's how to break it.
Next time they go cold, do not chase.
Do not text. Do not ask what's wrong. Go do something else. Watch a movie. Call a friend. Go to sleep. By morning, one of two things happens. Either they come back warm like nothing happened, which means it was always a game.
Or they explode with rage that you didn't play, which proves you just passed the test.
Healthy people don't punish you with silence. Healthy people say, I'm upset, here's why. If you have to guess what you did wrong, you didn't do anything wrong. You're just being trained. Third sign. Your relationship is a roller coaster. And you call it passion.
Monday, you're their favorite person.
Love notes. Future plans. You're the best thing that ever happened to them. You feel high. You feel chosen. You feel like finally someone sees you. Wednesday, nothing. Dry texts. One-word answers. They're busy. They're tired. They didn't do anything wrong, technically.
But the temperature dropped 20 degrees.
And you feel it in your bones. Friday, you're desperate. You text more. You try harder. You bend over backward to get back to Monday. You apologize even though you don't know what for. You shrink yourself. You walk on eggshells. Sunday, they're warm again. They love you again. And that rush? That relief? It's better than drugs. That is not love. That is intermittent reinforcement. Same mechanism as a slot machine. If you won every time you pulled the lever, you'd get bored. But if you win sometimes, randomly, just enough to keep you hoping, you'll pull that lever until your fingers bleed. That's what they're doing to your heart. They give you love just often enough to keep you addicted. Then they take it away just long enough to make you desperate. You're not fighting for the relationship. You're fighting to feel safe again. And as long as you're fighting, you're not leaving. Here's the ugly truth. People who do this don't love you. They love your chase. They love watching you try. They love the power of deciding when you get to be happy. Watch what happens when you stop chasing. One day they go cold. And you don't react. You don't text. You don't ask. You just live your life. That's when the mask slips. They'll either panic and love bomb you harder than ever, or they'll discard you like garbage. Either way, you just saw who they really are. Healthy love is boring. Healthy love is predictable. Healthy love doesn't make you feel like you're dying one day and flying the next. If you're always confused about where you stand, you're standing exactly where they want you. On unstable ground. So you never feel safe enough to leave. 3 signs. Broken memory. Stolen guilt. Emotional whiplash. But here's the only question that matters. Think back to the day you met them. Think about who you were. How you walked. How you talked. How you slept at night. Are you bigger now? Or smaller? If you feel smaller. Quieter. More confused than you used to be, you already have your answer. You don't need proof. You don't need a confession. You don't need them to admit anything. You just need to leave. No face. Just truth.